I arrived at my grandson's baptism wearing my best suit, the one my late wife bought me 15 years ago. Parked my truck between the Mercedes and BMWs. 200 guests inside. I'd paid $35,000 for this day. The venue, the gown, everything. My daughter met me at the church entrance, in front of everyone. "Dad, there's no room for you here." I stood there, 72 years old. Just got told I wasn't good enough for my own grandson's baptism. That's when I decided if I'm just an ATM to her, then this ATM is shutting down. 20 minutes later, I made a phone call from my truck. One phone call. That's all it took. What happened next destroyed their perfect day and changed everything. I'm grateful you're here listening to an old man's story. Real quick comment below, where are you watching from, and what time is it there? I need to know I'm not alone in this. Because the decision I made in that church parking lot changed everything. I'm Hector Wallace, 72 years old. Spent the last 40 years building Wallace Auto Repair, from a single bay garage into 5 locations across Indianapolis. I'm not rich, but I'm comfortable. Comfortable enough to write a check for $35,000 to cover my grandson's baptism. The venue, the catering, that $800 christening gown. That Saturday morning, I put on the dark suit Nadine bought me 15 years ago. She always said it made me look distinguished, and drove the 20 minutes from my place in Southside up to Second Presbyterian Church in Meridian Kessler. Upscale neighborhood. The kind where people check what you drive before they decide if you're worth talking to. The parking lot was full of Mercedes and BMWs. I tucked my F-150 in the back corner and headed inside. The sanctuary held maybe 200 people, all dressed like they were attending a society wedding. I didn't recognize a single face. These weren't family. They were Colin's crowd, his business partners and investors, whatever that meant. I spotted Jillian near the entrance. She wore a cream-colored dress hair done up fancy, looking exactly like her mother used to on Sundays. Beautiful. Then she saw me. Her smile vanished. She cut through the crowd, fast heels clicking on marble, and grabbed my elbow before I could take another step. "Dad?" Her voice was low, controlled. "What are you doing here?" "It's Liam's baptism," I said. "I'm his grandfather." "I know, but there's no room." She glanced back at the sanctuary, at Colin, who was laughing with a group of men in expensive suits, completely ignoring us. "Derek's business partners are here. Important people. We didn't think you'd actually come. Didn't think I'd come. To my own grandson's baptism. Jillian, I paid for everything. The venue, the gown. And we appreciate that. Really." She still wouldn't meet my eyes. "But Dad, you don't fit in here. These people are Colin's network. You'd be uncomfortable." Through the sanctuary doors, I could see Liam in some stranger's arms. 6 months old, wearing the gown I'd paid for, surrounded by people I'd never met. "So where do I sit?" She finally looked at me then. "Maybe it's better if you just go home. We'll send you photos." The whispers started. 200 people watching this play out. Watching my daughter tell me I wasn't good enough for her world. I looked at her, this woman I'd raised alone after Nadine died, put through private school, working 60-hour weeks at the garage. This woman who used to hand me wrenches on the shop floor and tell everyone her dad owned Wallace Auto Repair. "Thanks for the check, Dad," she said quietly. "You should go." I could have argued, could have pushed past her and walked into that sanctuary, but you don't make a scene in church. You don't embarrass your family, even when they're embarrassing you. So I turned around, walked back through that lobby with my spine straight, past the whispers, past the stares, past Colin, who finally noticed me leaving and gave this little smirk. My truck looked exactly like what it was, a working man's vehicle in a parking lot full of status symbols. I got in, started the engine, didn't cry. I don't do that much anymore. Didn't curse, though I wanted to. I just merged onto I-65 South and headed back toward my side of town, where people didn't care what you drove or where you worked. And somewhere on that highway, I made a decision. Jillian wanted to treat me like an ATM, like a checkbook with a pulse, like I existed only to fund her perfect life. Fine. If that's what I was to her, then this ATM was about to shut down. The 20-minute drive home felt like 20 years. I kept both hands on the wheel knuckles white. Every red light gave me too much time to see her face again, that cold look, when she said I didn't fit in. I didn't turn on the radio, just the engine, the highway, and my thoughts getting clearer with every mile. By the time I pulled into my driveway in Southside, I knew exactly what I was going to do. My house is modest. 2 bedrooms, nothing fancy. Nadine and I raised Jillian here. After Nadine passed, I kept everything the same. Her pictures on every wall, her garden out back. Too much of her here to let go. I sat in the truck for a minute staring at the front door. Then I went inside. The house was too quiet. I loosened my collar, draped the suit jacket over the couch, stood in the living room looking at Nadine's picture on the mantel, our 25th anniversary. She was smiling. She always made people feel welcome. She would have been ashamed of Jillian today. I walked to the home office, Nadine's old desk in the second bedroom. I opened the filing cabinet and pulled out the folder marked Jillian Financial. Inside were documents I'd been keeping for years. The deed to the house in Broad Ripple, I'd bought them as a wedding gift, still in my name. The paperwork for Colin's Lexus, $680 a month for my account. The lease for his Mass. Ave office, my building. I spread them on the desk. $35,000 for this baptism. $18,500 due today for the venue. $15,000 for catering. $800 for a gown my grandson wore for 30 minutes before I got dismissed at the door. I own everything, I realized. Their house, his car, his office, everything. I picked up my phone, called Norman Ellis, my accountant for 30 years. Hector Howe was the baptism. Norman, I need you to cancel a check. Which one? The big one. Scottish Rite Cathedral, $18,500. Long pause. Hector, that's the final payment. If that doesn't clear, they can't serve food. The bar shuts down. There are 200 people there right now. That's exactly what I want. Silence. Norman, I'm here. His voice was careful. If I do this, there's no taking it back. I know. All right, I'll call the bank. Anything else? Freeze Jillian's credit cards, all of them. The ones on your accounts. Those are the only ones she has. Another pause. Hector, this is war. I leaned back in Nadine's chair, looked at her picture on the desk, us at Jillian's graduation, back when our daughter still wanted us around. No, Norman, this is education. I hung up, sat there imagining it. Colin and Jillian at that venue right now. Champagne. 200 guests. Everything perfect. And then the manager walking over with very bad news. I smiled for the first time all day. The phone started buzzing around 6. I ignored it. Made a ham sandwich, ate standing at the counter. The phone kept going. I turned it face down. At 9 o'clock, I brushed my teeth and went to bed. Slept better than I had in months. While I slept, 200 guests arrived at the Scottish Rite Cathedral, expecting a celebration. The grand ballroom looked perfect. Champagne fountain, white flowers, everything arranged exactly how Jillian wanted. Colin and Jillian stood near the entrance greeting guests, him in an expensive suit, shaking hands with his business partners, her smiling like she'd pulled off the social event of the season. At 3:45, Kenneth Brady, the venue manager, pulled Colin aside. "Mr. Rivers, we have a problem. The final payment check was declined." Colin barely glanced at him. "That's impossible. My father-in-law is good for it." "I called the bank. The check was canceled this morning. By him." Colin's face went white. He pulled out his wallet, handed over a credit card. "Run this." Kenneth returned 2 minutes later. "Declined." Colin tried another card. "Declined." A third. "Declined. Mr. Rivers, without payment, we cannot serve food or alcohol." Behind them, the catering staff stopped setting up. The bartender closed the bar. Guests noticed the kind of noticing that comes with whispers and sideways looks. Jillian appeared. "What's happening?" "Your father canceled the check." She pulled out her phone. Dialed. I imagine it rang in my pocket while I slept. He's not answering. By 4:30, whispers had turned to conversations. Guests checked their watches, made excuses. Some laughed on their way out. "I heard the father-in-law pulled funding." Some kind of family drama. How embarrassing. Colin actually went around asking guests for money, borrowing, like panhandling. Most made excuses and left. By 5 o'clock, the ballroom was empty, except for Colin, Jillian, and Kenneth. "I'll need you to vacate the premises," Kenneth said quietly. Meanwhile, I was having dinner. That ham sandwich. My phone started buzzing around 6. I let it ring. Voicemail after voicemail piled up while I ate. The calls kept coming. 7, 8, 9, 10. By the time I went to bed, there were 22 missed calls. I slept 8 solid hours. Sunday morning, 6 o'clock, I made coffee. Poured a bowl of oatmeal. Set my phone on the kitchen table and turned it on. 22 missed calls. 22 voicemails. I hit play. Colin's voice Saturday around 6:30. You selfish old bastard. Do you have any idea what you just did? My investors were there. Important people. You've destroyed everything. I took a bite of oatmeal. Next message. Jillian crying, Daddy, please, people are laughing at us. Everyone saw. Please call back. Colin again. This isn't over. You can't just... Jillian again. Daddy, I'm begging you. I listened to all 22. Didn't skip a second. The oatmeal was gone by message 15. Second cup of coffee by message 20. The last one was Jillian at midnight. Just sobbing. No words. When it finished, I sat there for a minute. Looked out the window. Sunday morning, quiet street, Nadine's roses starting to bloom. Then I deleted all 22 messages. Every single one. Poured a third cup of coffee. I had work tomorrow. The garage doesn't run itself. But today, I was going to enjoy my Sunday. Around 10:30, I heard a car pull into my driveway. Loud, angry, doors slamming. I set down my coffee and waited. The banging on my door could have woken the whole neighborhood. I set down my coffee and walked to the front door. Took my time. Let them wait. When I opened it, Colin and Jillian looked like they'd been through a war. Colin's expensive suit was wrinkled collar, open hair pointing every direction. Jillian still wore that cream dress from yesterday, mascara smeared down her face. Colin didn't wait for an invitation. He pushed past me into my living room. What the hell were you thinking? His voice came out loud enough to rattle the windows. Do you have any idea what you just did? I closed the door, followed him in, stood there with my arms crossed. I know exactly what I did. My investors were there. He was pacing now, hands in fists. People I've been courting for months, and you humiliated us. Made us look like... Like what? I cut him off. Like you don't actually have money. Like you've been living off my dime, that what you're upset about. Colin? The truth coming out. Jillian stepped forward, tears streaming. Daddy people were laughing at us. My friends, they all saw. Your friends. I looked at her. Really looked at her. Where were my friends yesterday, Jillian? Oh, right. There was no room for me. I didn't fit in. She flinched like I'd slapped her. Colin got between us. You need to fix this. Call the venue. Pay them. Apologize. We can still salvage. I'm not fixing anything. You will fix this. That house you live in? I kept my voice level. Calm. The one in Broad Ripple. That's mine. Been mine for 8 years. You've been living there rent-free. Colin stopped pacing. That was a gift? You gave that to Jillian when we got married? I let you live there. Past tense. You'll get an eviction notice Monday morning. You can't. That Lexus you drive $680 a month. Comes out of my account automatically. Not anymore. His face was changing color. Red to white to red again. That office on Mass Ave where you meet your so-called investors, I own that building. Your lease is terminated. Locks get changed Monday. Jillian grabbed my arm. Dad, you can't do this. We have Liam. I pulled my arm away. You want to treat me like I don't exist? Like I'm just an ATM. You tap when you need cash. Fine. Then my money doesn't exist either. Colin moved fast. Grabbed my shirt, pulled me close. For a second I thought he might actually hit me. You can't do this, he said, voice low, dangerous. We'll sue. We'll have you declared incompetent. You're clearly not thinking straight. No sane person would... I didn't move, didn't blink, just stared at him until he let go. Get out of my house. We'll take everything, Colin said. The garage, the properties, all of it. You're senile. Any judge will see. Get out. Jillian tried one more time. Dad, please. What about Liam? He's your grandson. That stopped me for a second. Just a second. Liam deserves better than parents who use people. Maybe losing everything will teach you how to be those parents. I walked to the door, opened it. Now get out. Colin grabbed Jillian's arm, started pulling her toward the door. She was crying again, saying something I couldn't make out. At the door, Colin turned back, got real close. Voice so low only I could hear. You're going to regret this, old man. The way he said it made my blood run cold. Not angry, not desperate. Calculated, threatening. They left. I watched their car peel out of my driveway tires, squealing. I stood there for a minute, then pulled out my phone. Speed-dialed Marvin. He answered on the second ring. Hector, what's wrong? Colin just threatened me. In my house. We need a plan. Fast. Marvin met me at Shapiro's Deli at 1 o'clock. Best pastrami in Indianapolis. We've been eating there for 30 years. He slid into the booth across from me, looked at my face, and said, "So what did the son of a bitch do?" I told him. The threat. The way Colin said it, cold, calculated. Not just desperate anymore. Marvin didn't look surprised. "I warned you about that guy." "I know. He's going to play the incompetence card. Classic move. Get you declared senile, take control of everything." He bit into his sandwich. "You need to get ahead of it." "How is Psych-Eval? Today, if possible. Get a doctor to certify you're sound, before he can shop for one who'll say you're not." I pulled out my phone, called Lawrence Bishop, my lawyer for 20 years, left a message marked urgent. He called back before we finished eating. "Hector, what's the emergency?" "Need to see you first thing Monday. My son-in-law is threatening to have me declared incompetent. I'll be at the office at 8. Bring Marvin." Monday morning, Lawrence laid it out plain. "We need Dr. Barbara Sutton. She's credible, thorough. If she says you're competent, no judge will question it." She fit me in at 9:30. 2 hours of tests. Memory logic, puzzles, emotional assessment. She asked me to count backward from 100 by sevens. Draw a clock. Name the last 5 presidents. At the end, she signed a document. "Mr. Wallace, you're sharper than most 40-year-olds I evaluate. Here's your certificate." Dated and notarized. I folded it into my wallet. While I was protecting myself, Colin's day was getting worse. Norman Ellis changed the locks on that Mass Ave office at noon, just like I'd told him to. Colin showed up at 12:30 with 2 clients, stood there trying his key over and over while they watched. Finally called the building owner, got my voicemail. The clients left. Word spreads fast in business circles. At 1 o'clock, Jillian was at Kroger with a cart full of groceries. Diapers, formula, real food. For the first time in months, they'd been ordering takeout on my dime. Her card got declined at checkout. She tried another, declined. A third, declined. People in line behind her staring, the cashier trying to be sympathetic. "Do you have another form of payment?" Jillian left the cart and walked out with Liam crying in her arms. She called me from the parking lot. "Dad, my cards don't work. I have Liam. I need diapers." "You've got 2 choices, Jillian. Get a job, or ask Colin's business partners for help. You know, the ones who are more important than me. You're a monster." I hung up. Should I have felt guilty, maybe? But I'd worked 40 years, built everything from nothing, and she'd thrown me away like trash. The phone rang at 3:30. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Let it go to voicemail. Male voice, smooth, professional. "Mr. Wallace, this is Dr. Randall Cross. I specialize in elderly care evaluations. Your family has expressed concerns about your well-being. I'll be visiting you soon to conduct an assessment. Please don't be alarmed. This is purely precautionary." I played it again, then a third time. That smooth voice. Purely precautionary. I saved the message and called Marvin. "He's already making his move," I said. "Found himself a doctor." "You got that certificate from Dr. Sutton?" "In my wallet." "Good. Keep your doors locked. Hector." If he's desperate enough to hire a fake doctor, he's desperate enough to do something stupid. I looked at my front door, thought about Colin's face when he'd grabbed my shirt, that cold look in his eyes. "Yeah," I said. "I think you're right." I was at my kitchen table when my front door exploded inward. Wood splintered. The frame cracked. I grabbed my phone hit record. Colin came through first, wild-eyed. Behind him, 3 men, 1 in a white coat, 2 in scrubs. "He's having an episode," Colin shouted. "Paranoid delusions. We need to sedate him." I backed up phone recording. "This is breaking and entering. Get out." The man in the white coat cross used a fake professional voice. "Mr. Wallace, please calm down. You've been acting erratically." "This is kidnapping. I'm calling the police." "Grab him." Colin pointed. "Before he hurts himself." The 2 in scrubs moved fast, got my arms. I fought, kicked, twisted, but they were strong. "I'm being held against my will." I shouted at the phone before it hit the floor. Still recording. "This is kidnapping. I'm of sound mind." Cross pulled out a syringe. "This will calm you down." I thrashed. "Get off me." The needle moved toward my arm. "Hurry up." Colin was behind them. Before, sirens. Everyone froze. Blue and red lights flashed through the broken door. "Indianapolis police. Exit with your hands up." They let go. I caught myself on the counter. Colin's face went white. We should go, Cross started. 4 officers burst in, guns drawn. On the ground. Hands behind your head. Colin tried to run. An officer tackled him. This is a misunderstanding. Cross had his hands up. I'm a licensed physician. Save it. Handcuffs clicked. All 4 of them. You have the right to remain silent. I was shaking. Adrenaline hitting hard. I have video. I managed. My phone. An officer picked it up. We'll need this as evidence. Paramedics checked me. Bruises, nothing broken. The lead officer took my statement. What happened here? They broke into my home. Tried to forcibly sedate me. Attempted kidnapping. Colin handcuffed on the floor. He's my father-in-law. He's senile. We were helping. The officer looked at me. Sir, do you have proof you're of sound mind? I pulled out Dr. Sutton's certificate. Dated this morning. He read it. Nodded. A car pulled up. Jillian. She saw the police cars came running. Colin, what's happening? She saw him. Handcuffed. Being walked to a police car. Ma'am stepped back. An officer blocked her. This man and 3 accomplices broke into this residence and attempted to forcibly sedate the homeowner. She looked at me. Dad, did you call the police? They broke into my house and tried to drug me. What did you think I'd do? Colin was being pushed into the police car. You set me up. This is entrapment. An officer closed the door, cut him off. Jillian stood there, looking at Colin in the car, looking at me, torn. They want me at the station, I said, for a statement. Marvin pulled up. He'd called the police, he said. Been watching from down the street. Let's go. I got in his truck. As we backed out, I saw Jillian getting into her car with Liam in her arms. She was following us. For one moment, something cracked in my chest. My daughter, my grandson, following me because she had nowhere else to go. Then I remembered. 200 guests. No room for you, Dad. The crack sealed over. The police station smelled like bad coffee and fluorescent lights. I spent 2 hours in an interview room with Detective Martinez and Lawrence. Went through everything. They watched the video. Martinez actually winced when Cross pulled out that syringe. Mr. Wallace, this is serious. Attempted kidnapping, assault, conspiracy. Your son-in-law is looking at 5 to 7 years minimum. I want to press full charges. All of them. He nodded. Started typing. By 6:30, I was done. Walked out into the waiting area. Jillian was sitting there feeding Liam a bottle. She looked exhausted. Nowhere to go. Down the hall, I could hear Colin shouting from one of the processing rooms. She saw me. Stood up. Dad, can we talk? Please. I stopped. Looked at her. At Liam. Then nodded. 5 minutes. We moved to a quieter corner. Still public, but more private. I'm sorry. Her voice broke. About the church. About everything. Colin said it would be better for networking. Colin said. Colin wanted. I cut her off. What did you want, Jillian? I wanted him to be happy. He was under so much pressure. What pressure? She hesitated. Then it came out. He owes money to dangerous people. $87,000. I wasn't surprised. Gambling, she nodded. Ashamed. Online poker. Sports betting. It started small then. He thought if he could access your business, or if you were declared incompetent, and he had power of attorney, he could pay them off. It was always about the money. So you decided to throw your father away to save him? I didn't know he'd do this. She was crying now. I swear. I thought he just wanted to talk to you about a loan. You blocked me from my grandson's baptism in front of 200 people. That wasn't Colin. That was you. Silence. I pulled out an envelope. Lawrence had prepared it. This is my updated will. She read it. Her face went pale. A trust fund for Liam. But what about me? You're in it, as trustee when Liam turns 25. But the money is his, not yours. Dad, I'm your daughter. You are my daughter. That's why I'm giving you one chance. One. I laid it out. The house in Broad Ripple, 30 days, then $2,800 a month rent, or she's out. Credit cards canceled permanently. No more money from me, but a job offer. Wallace Auto Repair. $15 an hour. Start Wednesday. 5:45 a.m. Whatever Curtis tells her to do. Sweeping floors, emptying trash. She looked horrified. I can't do manual labor. I have a baby. Then figure something else out. Your husband's going to prison. Your society friends stopped answering your calls. You've got no money, no job, no skills. So you can take my offer or you can leave. Your choice. And if I don't show up Wednesday, then you and Liam are completely on your own. No house, no money, nothing. I stood up, started walking toward Marvin. Where am I supposed to go tonight? Her voice was desperate. That's not my problem anymore. You made your bed. I walked out of that station with Marvin. Didn't look back. Think she'll show? He asked as we got in his truck. I shrugged. Honestly, I don't know, but I gave her a chance. That's more than she gave me. Tuesday morning, 5:30, I was at the garage, waiting. She didn't come. Curtis raised an eyebrow when he arrived at 6. Where's your daughter? I just shook my head. Wednesday morning, I got there even earlier, 5:15, made coffee, stood by the window watching the empty parking lot. At 5:42, headlights swept across the pavement. Headlights swept across the parking lot. An old Honda borrowed from Colin's mother, I'd learn later. Jillian got out wearing designer jeans and a cashmere sweater. Wrong clothes for a garage. But probably all she had left. She was carrying Liam. He was asleep. Curtis was waiting by the bay door. Checked his watch when she walked up. You're late. Shift starts 5:45. It's 5:42. Early is on time. On time is late. Tomorrow 5:30. He looked at the baby. Where's the kid going? I thought wrong. Can't have a baby in a garage. Dangerous. Figure it out by tomorrow. He handed her a broom and a mop. Bay 3. Floor's filthy. Bathroom needs cleaning too. Trash out by 7. She stared at the broom like she'd never seen one. Problem? No. No problem. I watched from the office window. Didn't go out there. She needed to do this herself. Week 1, she scrubbed floors on her hands and knees. That cashmere sweater was ruined by noon grease stains that wouldn't come out. She ate lunch in her car. Peanut butter sandwiches. The other mechanics ignored her. I heard one whisper, boss's daughter. Bet she quits by Friday. She didn't quit. By month 2, Curtis let her assist. Hand me that 3/8 socket. Red handle. She started learning tool names, answering phones, scheduling oil changes. Christmas. I invited her and Liam for dinner. Awkward, but civil. I gave Liam a toy truck. Didn't mention work. She said thank you when she left. January and February. Curtis taught her basic repairs. Oil changes, tire rotations. She made mistakes, over-torqued a bolt, once spilled oil another time. But she cleaned up her own messes. Then came the day that changed things. Mid-February, a customer brought in a Honda Civic. Simple oil change. Curtis said, You do this one. Solo. I'll watch. I watched too. From the office, she jacked up the car, drained the old oil, replaced the filter, added new oil, checked the level, lowered the car, started the engine, checked for leaks. Curtis inspected her work. Good, real good. You didn't screw it up. The other mechanics had been watching. Mike, one of the younger guys, nodded. Nice work, Jillian. First time they'd used her name instead of the boss's daughter. Early March, I drove to Marion County Jail. Colin sat across from me in an orange jumpsuit. He'd gained weight, looked defeated. Please drop the charges. I'll disappear. You'll never see me again. I slid an envelope through the slot. Divorce papers. Jillian had already signed. I'm sorry, he said. I was desperate. The people I owed. You tried to kidnap me, drug me. Desperate doesn't cover it. I walked out. Mid-May, Jillian came to me. I'm moving out, getting my own place. Good, I said, and I meant it. You need help moving. She looked surprised. You'd, help. Marvin's got a truck? By summer, she was assistant manager, handling schedules, dealing with difficult customers. The mechanics joked with her now. Mike said one day, You're all right, Jillian. Not bad for someone who showed up in Kashmir? She laughed. Could laugh at herself. Curtis told me one afternoon, Your daughter's good. Real good. Didn't think she had it in her. Neither did I. But she'd proved us both wrong. Late July, my phone rang. Her number. Hector Wallace. Hi, Dad. Her voice was different, steadier. I just wanted to say thank you. For what? For not giving up on me. I stood there holding the phone, looking out at the garage, at the life she'd built from nothing. I'll see you tomorrow, Jillian. See you tomorrow. I hung up, stood there another minute. A text came through. Marvin Liam's birthday coming up. Thought we could throw a party. At the garage. Keep it simple. BBQ. What do you think? I smiled. Texted back, sounds good. Then I called Jillian back. Change of plans, I said. How about you bring Liam by for dinner Saturday, just us, before the birthday party? Silence on the other end. Then, I'd like that, Dad. I'd really like that. For the first time in a year, it felt like I had my daughter back. Liam's first birthday wasn't at a fancy venue. It was in a garage that smelled like motor oil and possibility. We cleared the bays Saturday morning, folding tables, paper plates, blue and yellow balloons, Marvin at the grill with burgers and hot dogs. By 2 o'clock, 40 people had shown up, mechanics and their families, regular customers, neighbors, real people who actually cared. Jillian arrived with Liam and a homemade cake shaped like a car frosting, lopsided, but she'd tried. Liam wore regular clothes, no $800 gown this time. I took him from her. Hey, buddy, 1 year old. He grabbed my nose and giggled. I thought about that baptism. 200 strangers. Today, 40 friends eating burgers off a $20 grill. Perfect. At 2:30, Jillian stood up, tapped her glass. Can I say something? Her hands shook. A year ago, I made the worst mistake of my life. I told my father he wasn't welcome at my son's baptism. Tears started. I was ashamed of him. Ashamed that he worked with his hands. Ashamed he didn't fit my fake world. She looked at Curtis. Curtis taught me how to change oil, how to read an engine. Looked at Marvin. Marvin taught me bookkeeping, how to laugh at myself. Looked at me. But my dad taught me how to fix the most broken thing. Me, her voice cracked. Dad, I'm sorry. So sorry. For making you feel like you weren't enough. You were always enough. I wasn't. Thank you for not giving up on me. I love you. People clapped. Curtis wiped his eyes. I walked over, stood facing her. Come here. I opened my arms. She stepped in. We hugged, really hugged. Both, crying. First time in a year. I'm sorry, Daddy. I know, sweetheart. When we pulled apart, Liam pushed away from Marvin, wobbled on his feet, took 3 unsteady steps toward us, fell into our arms. Everyone cheered. First steps. We sang happy birthday. Liam smashed cake with his hands. I showed him a toy wrench later. He held it, made vroom noises. Marvin leaned over. You did good. Still a long road. She'll make it. You taught her how. As the sun set, Jillian was helping Curtis pack up, laughing at something Mike said. Real laughter. Liam slept on my chest, one hand clutching my shirt, the toy wrench in his other hand. I thought about that baptism. 200 strangers looking at me like trash. Today, 40 people who cared. Burgers and beer and genuine joy. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Maybe. But you can teach a young woman she's stronger than she thinks. That work has dignity. That family isn't about what you have. It's about who shows up when everything falls apart. A year ago, 200 people watched my daughter reject me. Today, 40 people watched her become someone I'm proud of. I kissed Liam's head, felt his breath against my neck. This was wealth, not money, not 5 garage locations. This moment, this family. Hard won, built from rubble. Worth every fight, worth everything. Looking back at my story, I never imagined I'd be sharing Grandpa's stories like this one. But if there's one thing I've learned in 72 years, it's that true story endings don't always come wrapped in fancy paper. Don't be like I almost was a man who let pride build walls so high he nearly lost his family forever. I could have stayed angry, could have cut Jillian off completely. But something my Nadine used to say kept echoing, God doesn't give second chances so we can waste them being bitter. Here's what this grandpa story taught me. Money can't buy respect. You earn it. Work honest hands. Dirty work has more dignity than any country club membership. And family. Real family shows up when you've got nothing left to offer but a chance. If you're reading this because someone in your life threw you away like I was thrown away, listen, forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you refusing to let bitterness steal what's left. Set boundaries, yes. Demand change, absolutely. But leave the door cracked open. You'd be surprised who walks through when they've hit rock bottom. This isn't just another true story that happened to someone else. This is real life. Messy, painful, beautiful, real life. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to choose between holding a grudge and holding family? How did it turn out? Drop a comment below. I read every single one. And if this story moved, you hit that share button. Subscribe to the channel. More true stories and grandpa stories coming your way. Thanks for listening. Now go hug someone you love.